everybody. Thank you for coming.
I know, our stormtroopers out here tonight. Thank you for being here. I feel like we're about to host the Hunger Games or something.
I hope that we do. Let's and I think in this metaphor you are Katniss.
I'd love to be Katniss.
Yeah, you're Katniss. Hi. Hi, Girly Pop. How are you?
I'm so good.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that we're here together right now.
I know. Thank you for having me do this. I'm so glad I get to talk to you tonight.
I mean, you guys, St. Vincent, like...
Oh. Thank you. Very sweet. Okay, so we first met...
at a round table, like, interview that we were doing.
Yes, for the LA Times.
LA Times.
Let's talk about it. Who else was there?
I was really scared. John Legend, Willow, Dan Nigro. We were trying to remember this earlier, and we were like, I think then it was us.
It was just us.
The other two were us.
Yeah.
And I was so nervous because it was an interview, so already, like, I'm feeling unwell. But you, like, every answer, you were just, like, answering so eloquently. And then you and Willow started having this moment where you're talking about production. It got, like, very mathy in the most, like, amazing way. And I was like, oh, no. Oh, no. If he asks me anything right now, I'm screwed. But I was just, like, in awe of you the entire interview.
Oh, that's so
I really
sweet.
was. It was just like watching somebody eloquently move through this interview. And that was when I really felt, I mean, I'd been a fan of your music forever, but that was our first like meeting moment. Aww. And meeting a hero can go very badly sometimes. And this was not one of those. So I was very happy with it. Big win for me that day.
Well, I liked you instantly.
Thanks, Abby.
I was already a fan of your talent and your work, but also I was like, oh yeah, this girl's cool. Like, she's down.
Do what I can.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So since we met, your career, I mean, you were already like crushing it, but then that was what, like a year-ish ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
yes.
you've just kind of gone like...
I've been writing.
You've been writing. And you've been writing hits, and you've been writing amazing stuff. So I'm gonna consult my notes for this part. So, oh my God. Okay. Holy shit. Okay. So, okay, you made history as the first woman to win Songwriter of the Year at the Grammys. And that was really fun because we were in the winner's circle, and I hadn't seen you since that interview, and we were like, hi.
It was amazing. And my dad was sitting, we were in pre-tel, so Annie I didn't know this yet because I was still doing like the little interviews that you do before you go to the bit, and my dad was texting me like, you're not in your seat yet, I think you're like, you're about to be called, and he was like, St. Vincent's won everything. Oh. He was like, this woman's been on stage for 45 minutes winning every award. I'm like, yeah, she's the best. And he was like, I love her lead guitar playing. I'm like, yeah, I do too, Dad.
So nice. Thanks,
but
Dad.
yeah, that was a big day for you, an insane day.
Okay. I love that you are very generously deflecting, but we're going to talk about you some more. But that was really sweet that like we were just like, yeah, like, yeah. Okay, so Variety, iHeartRadio, and the National Music Publishing Association also named you Songwriter of the Year.
Very kind.
Yes, deserves a round of applause. Okay, you scored your 57th Billboard Hot 100 song with Olivia Dean's "So Easy." (Parentheses to fall in love).
To fall in love.
Yeah, it is.
We love Olivia Dean.
We love her.
I love her.
We love her. Okay, and then you hit #1 on the Hot 100 songwriter chart for the ninth fucking time, dude. Like, dude, okay, sick. Okay, and of course you just earned you got 4 more Grammy nominations. Yeah, you're gonna win them all. Okay, including Songwriter of the Year for the 3rd time. So if you won it this year, that would be twice in a row? 3 times in a row?
This is the worst part of the whole interview right now. I'm waiting for this
I know, but I love that you keep it humble, but also, you know.
I appreciate you.
Flowers.
All very many things that I'm grateful for. And I have a phenomenal team, so happy. Very happy.
Okay, but so the reason that we're here for all of this, the reason why you're crushing it is because music, and because at some point you fell in love with music. So
I did.
What's your earliest memory?
I was gonna ask you. Okay, well, I'm gonna ask you this because this is one of mine for you. My earliest musical memory. I'm from Maine, very rural Maine. I grew up in this town called Windham, which is on this beautiful lake called Sebago Lake, and we lived an hour away from our school.
What?
So I know, an hour. So my dad had to drive us like through these winding back roads in the middle of like countryside craziness. Like every day we almost had like a near-death experience with deer and moose on the road. But as we were driving to and from an hour every day, so like clocking really 2 hours plus in the car every day, he would school my sisters and I on classic rock and what he loved. So those are my earliest memories. And I really, like from very young, was being schooled on like the Stones and Led Zeppelin and, I mean, like Deep Purple and just like he really was like nailing it, like really nailing it into our brains. And then I started getting more, he started playing us more like, then we got into Sheryl Crow and we got into like Alanis Morissette. And then I just was really just learning from my dad all the time. And he is not a musician. But I've told this story before where my mom, they met when they were 12. Crazy, I know. But she was like, I had this really weird moment where I was like, all of his jeans have like the same rip in the same place on the right pocket. And she was like, for like a year, I was like, what the hell? This is weird. And then she was like, I realized it's because he plays air guitar so hard on his jeans that he has a rip in every single one of his pants. And I'm like, well, he was clocking a lot of road time, so he was hitting a lot of air guitar in those days. Yeah. So he's not musical, but he loves music. So that's where I got it from. That's my first memory. But I was going to ask you this, so now you have to answer too.
Oh, okay. My first musical memory is like was listening to Michael Jackson Bad.
Huge.
And like on a little boombox, and I would like dance
like one here.
Yeah.
Like carrying it down the road.
Yeah, like that, and then you it was a cassette tape, so you do flip it over. Who here knows what I'm talking about? You know. Yeah, so cassette tape, and I would dance to it, and then I would flip the tape over, and then I would dance to the other side. So
I had that with Ace of Base with my sisters.
Oh, that record.
We had a boombox, and we would walk down to the lake, which was like a 10-minute walk, and we would carry a boombox and feel like we were like the shit. Like playing, I saw the sign like on a boombox. I'm like, there's something about the tangible thing like that with music where I'm like,
yes,
never gets old.
Where are you in the birth order?
I know. I feel like this is gonna say something about me that's maybe not a good thing, but I'm the baby.
Of course.
I'm the baby.
Of course you're the baby.
I know.
I'm the baby too. That's why
That's why we love each other.
You know, because the older ones, they just like, they did the thing and they did the responsible thing. And now we
could be delinquents.
Yeah, they walked so we could do drugs. I don't know. Like, it's cool. Thank you. Let's thank our older siblings for letting us be here.
Being good people and mature.
Yes. Okay, wait. I have another. So we have a lot of things in common, but one of them is that, oh my God. Oh,
I'm scared.
we both know. Okay, so you went to nursing school.
Yes.
Yes.
Wait, we don't have that in common, do we?
No, I'm so sorry.
I was like, whoa, a big chapter. I didn't know.
We did, and I'm about to deliver a baby right here on stage. Bring her out. No, but that is not what we have in common. But you went to real school, and then the thing we have in common is that we both went to Berkeley. Then we went to fake school.
Yeah, we went to real school, then fake school.
Yeah.
Our parents were thrilled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, wait, were your parents bummed when you were like,
my
Mommy,
dad
Daddy?
was psyched.
He was.
My mom was like, this could be a shit show. But then she saw how much it made me just like come to life, and I was so much happier of a person once I got there, and then everybody was on board.
Did you have a moment at nursing school where you're like, no, I don't. Why would I have chosen?
Huge. This will age me as well. But I was in my first year at nursing school in Boston, and I went to go see the new Twilight movie that was in theaters.
Which one?
Whichever one Kristen Stewart birthed the vampire child. And I have this very vivid memory of coming to on the curb. And my boyfriend at the time, very kind of him, don't know what else he would have done, but he had to bring me out to the curb, like carried me out.
I
fully passed out. Couldn't even see a fake demon child come out.
Oh my
I was
God.
like, And I told my parents, I was like, I think this is it for me.
Oh my God.
I think that's the end of the road. And
Do
at the
not
same
see
time, I was
Rosemary's Baby.
no, it's still tough. But I was also in an a cappella group, which also killed music for me. So I was like, two things were coming to an end. And like, no shade to a cappella, but I am so bad.
I have to know more about this.
No.
Was it like a cup game, like acapella?
I wish it was. I wish it was stacking cups. It wasn't stacking
Kind
cups.
of acapella?
No, it was like my job would be like boop, 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 boop. And I was like, I don't think this is what I'm in it for. I don't think this is it. So that was dying. My music dream was dying slowly, and I also couldn't look at even fake blood in the craziest fake way. So that was where the turn in the road happened.
That actually takes me to another of my first childhood memories, which is my mom loved an a cappella group called the Nylons. Is that ringing any bells for anyone? The Nylons. Bless. So sweet. Okay, so
wait, but tell me, your real school and then pivot. What was your pivot point?
I didn't go to real school. I mean, I went to Berkeley. I'm sorry. Berkeley is
our commonality, not fake school, not real school, then fake school.
I didn't go to fake school.
But you didn't finish at Berkeley, which is what all the good musicians apparently do. And every time I tell somebody I finished, they're like, oh.
No, but that makes you this like what
I
like
lose
this
street
crazy
cred immediately.
Unicorn outlier of someone who went to Berkeley and graduated and is incredibly successful.
Hanging in somehow. Because apparently that's a cursed thing to do, I've learned.
I think you broke the curse.
Still here somehow.
Curse is broken. You heard it here tonight. Wait, okay, so you decided to go to Berkeley. I have questions. I have a question, Berkeley specific question about this. Okay. What's the best thing you learned? Something that you like think about today and use, and what's something that you're like, I need to forget this forever because this is useless. Useless.
Useless. That's a huge question. That's a really, really good question, Annie. I like that. I think so many things that I've learned allowed me to get to a certain point in my career, and then it was absolutely crucial that I had to unlearn all of it, if any of that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Like, it allowed me to be like, okay, I'm writing a song that sounds like an iteration of something that could be on the radio that could be important to somebody. But then to actually make it a song that meant anything and felt real in any capacity, I had to like unlearn all of it. If any of that makes sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, there's so many, and especially because trends in music change, as you know, like so quickly. So quickly. So when I first started coming up in like 8 years ago and writing pop music and signing my publishing deal and the whole thing, I was like, if it wasn't like a huge chorus, it had no right to be on the radio. But then like 4 years in, it was like the anti-chorus is cool now.
Right.
If you're not doing an anti-chorus, you ain't cool anymore. And so it just like, it changes, and you need to be like, okay, well, actually, I've always only really been in it to write a song that means something to somebody. Like the trends and the tools of like the pre-chorus notes can't hit the chorus notes. Like it doesn't really add up to like a song that will change your life.
Right. It feels like a prescriptive way to talk about things that have been successful, but not a formula for future success.
Yes, and it's like now I feel like my method is going into a session and feeling like I don't have like a technique or a method to get a great song.
Yeah.
It's like just having to go in and remember that like I just need to start from scratch every day and relearn like what actually a great song is, because that's really hard to do.
Well, amen. Amen to that. But so when you go in and you write with other people, when you write with an artist, how do you kind of navigate that interpersonally and like get the best out of them and figure out like who are they and what can I help them say, or how do we do this? Emotional intelligence? Is it just
I mean, I think my EQ is far higher than my IQ, I'll tell you that. But I don't know, every day, I think the reason why I still continue to fall in love with music is that at least being a songwriter for and with other people, every day is different. Yeah. Like every single day, there's not one day where I walk in where I'm like, oh, this day was like the other. It's like really, even if I do 4 weeks with the same artist, every day is different because it's a combination of what I'm going through that day and what that artist is going through that day. And that combination will never be the same any 2 days. And some artists come in and they're phenomenal writers and they've been doing it their whole careers. And that's really fun because then we can just like hit the ball back and forth as like hard as I'm hitting it, they're hitting it, and I'm getting better. And you know, there's so many days like that. And then there's other days when I'm going in with an artist that has never written a song before. And then that's a whole different thing, because then I'm like, oh, I'm setting the precedent of like what songwriting can be with another person.
You're the
for
Sherpa.
you. I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to give you a good experience of like, this can be a life-changing, beautiful thing. Because people get scared to bring, especially like songwriters in LA especially kind of get this like connotation of like a hired gun sometimes.
Right.
And especially with, I don't know, like more indie artists or like bands or something, it can feel a little bit like sacrilegious to bring in an LA songwriter. But I grew up always in bands, and I'm like, that is my favorite place to be in. So I feel it's a lot of listening. Sorry, short answer. It's a lot of listening, and it's a lot of figuring out what the negative space is to then fill that day, and how to like help best get the, you know, merge the car onto the highway that the artist wants to be going in that direction.
Yeah.
But it's different every day.
Beautifully put.
But I have a question for you now.
What?
Because you obviously write for yourself all the time. And we love your songs, but you also have written for a lot of other artists. One of my friends, Olivia Rodrigo, who I love the song you guys did together. And I'm curious because when you start writing for other people, there's this change where like when you're writing for yourself all the time, you can kind of, there's this like sense of like this like conduit thing where you're like, I'm only going to do it when like something is moving through me and telling me that this is like, I need to write this today. And if it's not happening that day, you can be like, I'm not going to do it that day then, because it's your own artistry. And sometimes you feel like I have nothing, and then other times you feel like there's this like calling to me to do this, and I don't know where it's coming from, but I'm just going to follow the road and do it. But when you're doing it for other people, like I don't have the luxury of following that all the time. I have to like, I'm Monday through Friday, regardless of if a spirit is calling to me or not. I have to be like, well, I'm the spirit today, I guess. I got to figure this out.
Yeah.
So what has that felt like for you? Or like, obviously your stuff is so sacred and you can do it on your own time, and when you feel like you're being called to do it, and then when you step in with somebody else, what has that felt like for you? Because I know that journey for me was like years of figuring that out.
Well, I think it's a combination because I will go in and work on things even when I just don't feel like anything.
Yeah.
You know? And where you're just like, I don't even like myself today. I'm just doing this thing because this is what I do.
Most days.
Yeah. And yeah. That's for us therapy after.
We'll
but
unpack that later.
so you kind of do it anyways, and you're like you're not going through the motions, but you're putting in the hours, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I caught a spark because you don't get hit by a train if you're not on the train tracks or whatever that expression is. Like
we're just hoping to get hit by a train every day.
Exactly. So you kind of do it. Yeah, for myself, I will do it even when I don't feel like it, and it doesn't. You know, I go through all that of like, I don't know if this is any good, but I'm still working on it, and I feel great about this, and then I come back to it, and I'm like, I don't think this is good, and then I feel nothing about something, and then I come back to it, I'm like, this is really good. So I don't know, there's all that. But with writing with other people, I really like it because I feel like I can just try to help them make whatever they're trying to say a little better.
And it alleviates you from being in like, this is St. Vincent territory. You can be like, oh, I anything is possible today.
Totally.
Which is so fun.
But it's also, I feel like there have been a couple songs that I wrote for other people without myself in mind, and that end up being kind of better, that I have ended up cutting. Like there's a song called Slow Disco that I wrote for somebody else.
That's one of my favorite one of your songs.
Thank you. But I wrote that for somebody else. Like, and I wasn't able to like, I would have critiqued myself or something, or not let it come out if it had just been for me. And then now it's like, that's another way to kind of do it, is to be like, oh, this isn't for me. I'm just writing. It's just for someone else. I think
finding the hacks to like alleviate the pressure of the blank canvas is like what it's all about. Yeah. Because we were talking about this just before we walked out here, where Annie was just working, and there wasn't an engineer and there wasn't a producer, and it was just Annie, and I'm like, that's 3 blank canvases. I'm like, it's so much to walk into a room and just be like, we could do anything today.
Yeah.
Like if it's a pitch day, so AKA, if you don't know what a pitch day is, it's like when there's no artist in the room. So a lot of times it would be like just me and a producer, or me and another writer.
Yeah.
And it's just like sometimes that can be crippling because you're like, we don't have a North Star. We could do something R&B, we could do something country, we could do something like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And when you're an artist and you're writing for yourself, 90% of the time, like to be able to push through the blank canvas every day is like a feat like none other, because it's hard. Anyway, sorry, that's my tangent on that.
Yeah, no, you're right, but I also feel like I'm so curious about pitch days, and also like the idea of pitch songs and how you, like, what were some of the early pitches that you did that you're like what's one that you're like, wow, that really kind of was the stepping stone to where I am today, and what's one that you're like, oh, let's hope that song never sees the light of day?
A lot of those.
Yeah, well,
lots of those. But I will say, and like I was saying earlier, the music culture and industry has changed. It changes so quickly and so much all the time. And when I first got into writing for other people, pitch was like kind of the only way.
But how do you even do it if it's like, we don't know who this is for, but just write a song?
I mean, 8 years ago, that was like my bread and butter. The only reason why I got to sign a publishing deal was because I had one song that I started by myself at home, brought in to these production duo and my one friend who's a writer. And I was like, I just wrote this chorus last night. It might be bullshit, but like something about it. I wrote it last night and I didn't record it and I remembered it this morning. So if that means anything,
that's a good sign.
I'm saying, let's see. Yeah. So we ended up writing the verses and tweaking, the chorus lyric and stuff. And then that was the first song. My manager, Gabs, who I don't know where she is, but she's my saving grace. And like all of anything that's ever happened has been because of Gabs. We weren't working together at the time, but we had met, and I sent the song to her, and she was like, "That sounds like a Selena Gomez song. I'm gonna just see what happens." But wow. I had nothing to my name. My friend, who was the other writer, had nothing to his name, and the two producers, like none of us had ever had a cut before.
Dude, isn't that kind of unheard of?
Right now, it feels unheard of. Maybe back, I don't know if it's changed, but it definitely felt unheard of. And I'll give cred for sure to Aaron Bashuk, because he definitely got a song from 4 people that he was like, I don't know any of those people's names that were a part of the song. And he sent it to Selena, and she put it out, and it went like, it was my first like hit. It like did so well, and all of us were like, what the hell is going on? And then that catapulted me into moving to LA. And then the second pitch song that
So were you in Boston?
I was in New York.
You were in New York, okay.
My band and I moved to New York. We were gonna sign to a record label. I had a come to Jesus moment where I was like listening to our songs in this meeting where they were trying to sign the band, and I was like, these are not good enough. So then I ended the band.
Good on you to know that's
well, it's just like if you hear something of yours and you're like, if I don't believe in it, like who the hell is gonna believe in that if I don't even think that's great? So I had no choice. And then started writing, and I was there for like a year writing. And then this song was right at like the butt end of that year. And then I moved to LA. And then the second song, which I think we could play a little bit of, because I've actually never done this before, and I think it might be interesting.
I really want to hear it.
Because I actually haven't listened to this demo in a really long time. But the second pitch song is a song that really changed my life. And I was like, you know how the first big thing, you're like, well, that could have been luck. And then the second one, I was like, I feel like a little bit more like I didn't make the wrong decision dropping out of nursing school. Like, maybe this is the right. Well, that was I would have been a terrifyingly terrible nurse. A lot of lives would have been at risk. But I feel like the second one, I was like, okay, I love this, and I feel like I could like give this a go.
And also the demo sounds like really good.
Louis Bell.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Louis Bell's one of the best producers I've ever known, and he's still just unbelievable. But that day I did that with one of my really good friends, DeLacy and Lou. And I was going to ask you this question, but for me, people are always like, can you tell when something's like your best thing you've ever done? And I'm like, no, I can never tell when something's going to be like react in any way with people. I never know, but I have had a few times in my career where I'm like, I love that. Yeah. Regardless if anybody else loves that. I walked away that day being like, whatever we did, that was like a very emotional thing for DeLacy and I. We were both going through breakups at the time.
I was going to say, who's that about? Tell us everything. Let's dox them.
We don't have enough time, Annie. But that just felt like I resonated with that song so much, and I loved it, and it just feels like so special because you know how this is, where sometimes something that you're like the least proud of connects, and when you're really proud of something and that connects, that's like the best possible situation.
That's the best, yes.
It's the best. So that song kind of like changed my life in many ways, and I'm very grateful for it. And for Gabs, again, my manager, who got the song that day from Lou, and we were like, we think this song's kind of good, and then she sent it to Halsey's team, and then Halsey recorded it. So that's how that song came to be. Pitch songs. I mean, pitch was like kind of dying right now, where it's like not as much as a thing, but it used to be everything, and I love a pitch session.
So but like that must have changed the whole thing, right? I mean, because at that point, were you still doing a bunch of pitch sessions, or were you like, oh no, like Amy Allen is happening, let's get her in the room?
I still don't feel like that is happening.
Really?
But
you're in the room now. Like you're
I was getting into more, but still not. It's really hard to like feel like I don't know, maybe because there's just so many amazing writers in LA and all over that I'm like, to feel like you're like, oh, I'm in the door now. Like it's really hard.
I think that's a good feeling though.
Keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, keeps you on your toes. Keeps you feisty.
And the cool thing about it is that I'm like, every time that I work with like a new writer that's like the new blood that's coming in, I'm like, you're phenomenal, and I need to be learning from you like all the time. Well, all the time I need to be learning from my co-writers and my peers, because music is so subjective and it's ever changing, and there's never like an end. Like there's no finish line.
No.
You can't like complete the level,
no,
you know?
And
I wish you could. I really wish.
Yeah, we're done. Yeah. And we did the best thing ever, and now it's done. No, but so when you love, okay, a couple questions. Let me think through this. Has there been an idea that you fought for that ended up being like, yeah, and everyone's like, thank God Amy fought for that idea, because that's the slam dunk?
I think many times, but like
but we won't
many times where it's like not, but it's not just it. Like it's not my idea necessarily every time.
Yeah.
Do you know how that is? When it's
but
like
you fought for
I get asked this question a lot, not what you just asked, but in interviews or something where people are like, "What's your favorite thing that you contributed to that song?" And I'm like, it's really interesting to think about that, because when I'm in a session, everybody's ideas, usually there's only probably 3 of us. I don't like to do sessions with more than like 3 people if I can help it, because it's like too many cooks. It's like I get stressed, whatever.
Yeah, agree.
But I don't remember what I do or what somebody else does at all. I just look back on it and I'm like, another entity was kind of just happening, where like everybody was saying their thoughts. Of course, some days some people do more than others. Like that's natural. But the thing that I love most about songwriting is that you're like, if those 3 people hadn't been in the room that day, like nothing would have happened. You know, it would have been completely different. Even if one person said nothing. Like there's something about the energies of people being in the room that just create something. And I can think of many times that it was my idea, and many times when it wasn't, that I fought for it and be like, a lot of times I'll be like, this was my idea, but I was like, actually that thing that you said 50 minutes ago, I'm still thinking about that, and I actually think that's the better situation that we should do. And
I think that's, and then there's really I think that's really generous and a really good. You're like, all ships rise. I'm botching every expression tonight, but like, rising tide raises all ships. You're from Maine, you know it. But to where you're not just going, oh, I like my idea. My idea is the best. You're going, what's gonna make the best song? I don't care where the idea came from. Let's go.
I think as a songwriter, I get always asked, like, what's the best advice you can give to a young songwriter? I think the earlier that you tap into that, in my opinion, like your career will only go upwards. Once you tap into the fact that like it's a team sport if you're a songwriter, and you just have to rally behind what the best idea is for the song that day, and just like it all comes out in the wash. Because the second somebody has ego and you can tell they're getting kind of like hurt by it not being their idea, I'm like, everything goes sideways. No, it's terrible. Totally. And so but that being said, when you said, is there many times when I have fought for something and then that's ends up being the thing, there's been many times when I've been like, I think it should be this, and it shouldn't have been that. So I'm like caveating it with like, I've had so many of those too.
Where you're like happy to be proven wrong too. That's a good place to be. Yeah.
And I love working with artists that, like, for instance, I work a lot with Tate McRae, who I love, and I think she's phenomenal. And we did the song Greedy. And we walked away the day that we wrote the song Greedy. And I was like, that song's awesome. I love that song. And then, like, a few weeks later, she was like, I think the chorus, the lyrically, is 100% wrong. And I was like, I would have been cool with it. I'm not going to lie. I kind of liked it. And we rewrote the entire meaning of the song. Like, we changed, which for me is huge because I hate editing. I'm like, you really have to drag me over the coals to edit a chorus, especially.
Dude, because I've been in the room where you have written like an epic chorus in like 6 seconds. I'm like, how the fuck did she? Sorry, can I curse here? I'm sorry.
I've not known that either. I'm glad you asked.
But it was like amazing. Anyway, go on. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I feel the same way about you, but I feel, I don't even actually remember what the question was, but just the editing process and fighting for the idea and then being proven wrong, where I was like, oh, if we hadn't changed that, I actually don't know if that song, I actually know that song wouldn't have done what it did if we hadn't changed it. It changed the entire meaning, everything, and I wouldn't have fought for that. So I think humbling experiences like that where you're like, oh, I didn't know that, but you knew. And I'm like, thank God I trusted your instincts on that.
Totally, and that's so reciprocal too, and so like a beautiful exchange. But my other question / compliment to you is that I feel like you have helped bring back like humor in popular music lyrics. Like, the stuff you write is witty and funny. It's poignant too, of course, because it wouldn't hit if it wasn't like straight also to the heart, but like it's funny, and I really appreciate that.
I think pop music is in its all-time like amazing era right now, in my opinion. Yeah. And I'm biased obviously because I'm such a pop girl. I ride or die for it. But I am so happy that there's pop artists right now, specifically Sabrina, of course, and so many artists that I work with that are just so down to be vulnerable. And I feel like when I was growing up, I was looking at a lot of pop stars who are amazing and can't take anything away from them, but there was this aura of like, it has to be this, wow, this is, I mean, whatever, I'm not reading them anyways.
Get it?
No. And it's just like, it has to be this perfect curated, like, every, it's choreographed lyrically and like, just in every way. And that's amazing. But also, like, how refreshing is it now that we're in this time where artists are just down to say the real shit of being like, I made a mistake. That was bad. It was bad. Or like, I hung on way too long there, like, shoot, and then I did it 5 more times. Like, I think it's so cool for people to be able to see their icons and be like, it's really like celebrities, they're just like me.
Exactly, they're human.
It's like the magazines that really got us good back in the day. It's just
Us Weekly, shout out.
Yeah.
R.I.P. or
Girls of the 90s. I feel really grateful to be a part of an era of pop music right now where self-awareness and like taking shots at yourself is cool.
Yeah.
Where you're like, I do not have to be this perfect entity. I can dress beautifully and sing like an angel, and I can be talking about some really weird shit that I wish I hadn't done.
Yeah.
You know? Because we all feel like that. That's so real.
It's kind of, in a weird way, like a throwback to the 90s in a certain way, where like the music of that time was all like, I'm a loser, I'm a creep, I'm a, and then it's
the
not,
most self-deprecating thing of all time.
Self-deprecating, but in the same way, it's just like it's actually so human to see a giant star be like, yeah, I fucked up, like I'm
1,000%, and I think it's awesome to see how many people are resonating with that and rallying behind that, and how it's now changing the face of like pop culture musically. I think it's really exciting, and I'm happy to be a part of that.
Yeah, you're doing a great job. I'm very proud
Thanks,
of you.
Annie. We give so many I have to just say that like all of the artists that I work with that are like the spearheads of all of that. I'm just it's so cool, and I know how you feel like about this too. Like, to get to work with people that you admire and who are so talented that make you better at what you do. And I wouldn't be able to write anything that I write if it wasn't for the artists that allow me to go into the room and do it. So I feel like I have got to add that on there too.
That was very gracious of you.
Thank you, Annie.
It really was. Okay, wait. Okay. Hold on.
I have things for you though.
No, okay,
can I ask,
but
please?
I have another really.
I've been holding mine
I have
in.
another really important question. Oh wait, okay. So, I guess it's like my big question is like, is your notes app crazy? Like,
So scary.
you know, because are you walking in with like,
Terrified.
are you living in just like, I wake up and I write an awesome course every day and this is the sort of theme?
Couldn't be less that.
Really?
Far, very far from
Really?
that. Yes. My voice memo app is the scariest single thing of my life, I
Really?
think.
Oh, if those.
I'm grateful to be able to say, I mean, that's a great thing, but it's bad. It's bad.
But that's
It's
good.
scary.
You have to go through so many bad ideas to get to a good one, and you have to be vulnerable enough, and slash brave enough to open your mouth and sing a bad idea to even get to the good place.
I went through this phase, which actually I need to re-enter this phase because I got a few good songs out of this phase. But this is a little serial killer of me that I did. But I live in Venice, so I live like an hour away from everywhere that I work.
Do you also love serial killers?
Wow. We were just talking about how much I love serial killer documentaries, but that's for another time.
That's for another time.
Anyways,
different. Okay.
I would I would force myself for like a few months. I did this every day, and kind of genius because it helped a lot. But I would sit in silence for my hour in and my hour out every day, and just put my voice memo app on and record and just sing a cappella melodies.
Whoa.
Every day, every single day. And about like a month in, I was like, this is certified crazy. This is terrifying. These are really bad. And then I started getting some stuff that I was like, okay, that's kind of good. That's kind of good.
Great idea. So you're just stream of consciousness.
Stream of consciousness, which is something that when I'm sitting in the room, I'm way more, I don't know. When somebody's like, let's just put on the mic and give you like a little freestyle.
that's
I'm
so
like,
scary.
it's different. But when you're in the room, I was hitting notes I didn't know I could hit. Notes I should have never hit, really. But I was just going for it, and I liked it. I'm going to go back to it now that I'm talking about it out loud.
That's a really great idea because it feels very, and then, but okay, the scary thing to me would be the going back through it and being like, what was going on?
It's
Like,
bad.
But you in that you found like really great ideas.
A couple. I'd say of 2 or 3 months of doing it, maybe like 2 good ideas. That turned into songs that came out, which I can't tell you which ones they're related to, but
okay,
I think that's worth it.
I think that's absolutely worth it.
Yeah, not know, but I'm always looking for those new things to just like stay inspired and on my game where I can bring something into the room that I've thought of before because I'm not really a title gal.
Well,
I don't like to come into the room with titles.
You don't come and go like, this is the concept for a song. Write it down. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
It wears me out. I feel really boxed in when I try to do that. Yeah. I will oftentimes, not often, if I'm being really honest with you, once in a blue moon, bring in a title that has, like, in parentheses, the whole line that has to go with it.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it's packaged. That's the thing. But, like, rarely. Do you go in will you go into the studio being like, this is exactly what I know I'm going to write today? Or are you getting in there and being like, Spirit, take me?
It's all
it's
over
Jesus take the wheel.
Jesus take the wheel. It's or someone. It's all over the map. Sometimes I will write an entire lyric start to finish and then go like, okay, how do I sing this? What does it sound like? And then, but most of the time it's like music first, and then I sing. You know, I sing stream of consciousness stuff over it, and then kind of go back and refine and go, oh, that was an interesting thing, because it is very helpful to kind of get out of your own way. But it's hard I imagine in a room where you're working with other people and there's a goal, right? Like you're in there and you're like, we're gonna
there's a time kind of constraint.
There's gonna write
a pressure
song.
of people looking at you. There's like so many things that now I've gotten so used to it where I definitely feel it less than I did at the beginning, but at the end of the day I'm like, it is still like a race to the finish line when you go in and you're like, especially if it's your first day with somebody and it's somebody you really wanted to work with, you're like, I have from like 1 till 7
so crazy
to show them that like I'm worth them working with more, but also be a cool girl. You know, it's like, it's really, and also be like a great listener, but also like get my objective. You know, I'm like, it's a lot of hoops that I I think we like take for granted sometimes that we know now how to move through those, or we're at least like open to learning and getting better. But wait, this is actually a good segue. Mike, I had a question for you that was like, do you remember, first of all, the first song you ever wrote? Because I unfortunately remember mine.
Yes.
And if your process has changed from the beginning to now, because mine has changed a lot.
The first song I ever wrote was a song with my older sister Mary, and it was a song we would like made up on a road trip, and it was like, oh, like a fish out of stream. Oh, like we were children.
I wanted acapella
like
so
a
bad.
child without a dream. We were children.
That's
singing
poetic as hell.
We were singing about children without dreams as children. That just gives you just in the back of an Econoline that smelled like vomit. So, yeah, I do. That's that I would say is the first. Yeah. But what's the first song that you ever wrote?
The fact that you were writing about children without dreams as a child
it's over.
makes what I'm about to say so sad.
Fuck it. Yeah, no.
Mine was... it's crazy that we both still remember these melodies.
What is
There's something about melodies that I'm like, oh, sometimes they just stick, but... Well, okay. Mine's two-part. I first remember doing melodies because I think I must have a really bad learning disability with looking at words because I didn't know how to read till I was like 14, I swear. I like couldn't figure it out. It happened eventually, thank God. But I was probably in like 7th grade being like, how do I spell people? I remember being like, I don't know how to spell this fucking word.
Oh my gosh.
And I was way too old to not know how to spell people. So I started writing melodies to figuring out how to spell things. So I would be like people, and I still remember a lot of them, but I specifically remember people where this is dark because I don't have a good voice like Annie, but it went P-E-O-P-L-E, people. I have like 50. No, I have so many that I'm like, I remember obstacle.
That's a hit. That's a...
But my sisters and I wrote a song, one of my sisters, my middle sister, she played drums. I played bass guitar.
Yeah, you did.
And we wrote a song called Right, Okay, I Didn't Know That, which is really, really sad because Annie's is about like children needing something and ours went, right, okay, I didn't know that. Truly gibberish. We were like, we made it.
That's really good.
It's bad. It's not good. It's okay. It does, honestly, it does still apply. It kind of still hits.
I'm not kidding. I think that people, what you just did, I think that is a hit. I would bop to that. That could have been a Gang of Four song. That's a Devo song. I'm hearing it right now.
It's Venga Boys.
It's really good.
I'm ready. If somebody wants it, let me know. I'll co-write it tomorrow. I need 90% publishing, though.
Yep. Just talk to Gabs. Yeah. You'll get it sorted out. Wait. Okay. This is. Oh my God.
Wait, I have something. Can I do one more?
You can totally do anything.
Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit off piste, and I know that this is like a little bit crude what I'm about to do, but I'm just interested. Okay, there's a game called Kill, Fuck, Marry that I really like, and I'm just interested. Okay, Kill, Fuck, Marry, melody, lyrics, chords. Go.
Oh, thank God. I was really prepared for a sorted list of humans. Okay, Kill, Fuck, Marry, melody, lyrics, chords. Oh,
all eligible suitors.
I think you can kill chords.
I agree.
Because that's a reharm. And
true. Producers, listen to that. Keep
yeah,
going.
check it out. I think you can kill chords. What's the first is no, but marry, fuck, kill.
Oh yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Whatever order floats your boat.
I think that you marry melody.
Oh.
Or maybe you fuck melody. No.
It's hard. I've given this one a lot of thought.
No, okay. I think you marry melody. I think you does fucking words mean you like that?
I think that's more like a one and done. But marry is like you're with it forever. It's your forever.
Okay, but I have a few thoughts on lyrics, which is like some of my favorite lyrics are total gibberish. Like Dada nonsense. Mm-hmm. And I love that, and I love that you
sometimes
can just
that's
be like
what you
need. Yeah, that's. So did that?
What I heard was you're fucking lyrics and you're marrying melody.
I think I'm fucking lyrics and marrying melody.
Okay. I like that.
Wait, well, you have to
I'm
do the same
reverse.
thing.
I'm same chords. I love chords. But if one's
Yeah.
gotta go, it's chords.
Right.
Because agreed, it's a reharm of the melody that
Yeah.
you're doing. Whatever. I'm marrying lyrics. I gotta. And then I'm I guess intercourse with
I feel
with
like
melody.
I should have done what you did.
No. It flip flops depending on the day. Anyway, sorry, I don't want to take us on a deep tangent of that, but
No, that's
deep.
a really good one.
Anyways. Annie's gonna be up all night on her red eye thinking about this.
Fucking those words. Wait. Oh wait, there is a question here that does make me giggle a little bit.
Scared.
No. Okay. Well, there's the first, which you do not need to answer.
Okay.
Because it's a question that the two of us have been asked many times, which is, what was it like to be the first woman to win Songwriter of the Year?
Just walk on earth.
Non-classical. I'm gonna just skip that because that, or maybe you have a good answer.
Because a lot of people have been saying that, but I'm like, Songwriter of the Year has only been a category now for 3 years, so. To be the first woman is amazing. But I'm like, if we really want to look at the category, it's been predominantly women every year as nominees for the category. And it's only, this will be the 4th year. So as much as I love identifying as the first woman that has won that category, I'm like, it's only been 3 years. But I am grateful regardless.
Okay. That was a really good answer to that. Okay. But okay, so you've talked a lot about input and output in writing. Like, how do you know, where do you go to input? Is it life? Is it other art? Is it, movies? Is it people? Is it travel? And like, when do you know when you're like tapped, when you're like, oh, I got nothing to say today? If you ever feel that way.
She does. I didn't even answer your question, I don't think, from like the beginning, which was like things to keep from Berkeley and things to discard. Yeah. And I said discard a lot of the like technical, like this is how a great song gets written. And the thing that I've kept more than anything is a teacher that talked to me about input-output periods. And he was like, his name's Pat Pattinson. And he was like, there's no such thing as writer's block. There's input periods and output periods. And my whole brain was like, because I was just like, that is exactly what I feel like so many writers need to hear, which is like, there's nothing wrong with you when you can't write a song if you feel like you're like, emotionally backed up. It's just that you need to go listen and live a little bit. Yeah. And just have it be an input period. Like, not every period can be an output period. To answer your question, at the moment, I feel like I've gotten a lot better. It took me a long time to be able to feel good about like taking days off and saying no to things, and I feel like it's a luxury to be able to do that, but I do feel like I've gotten a lot better at being like, okay, actually my output is better when my input is more like rich in terms of like being outside, being with people that I love and having quality time with them and going home more to Maine and all of those things. So I think that's been a really big learning curve for me because I love writing songs and I would do it 7 days a week. If I could. And then I hit a wall and I'd have to, stop. But I have to remind myself that I'm a better writer when I, take care of myself.
That is
emotionally and like just life-wise to have shit to write about.
Yeah. I got that sense from you in the like bits where we've worked together where it's like you love writing songs. You're not like clocking in and clocking out. Like you love writing songs and you are so, personable and funny and curious and smart, and you can draw the best out of people, it seems like, and that's just an incredible skill. So good job.
And I feel like, thanks, Annie.
You're welcome.
And I believe, and I know that you can relate to this, is like nobody wants to hear a song written by somebody that doesn't love music. Yeah. Like nobody will love your song if you don't love music anymore. And I'm like, truly my job now feels like whatever I need to do to stay in love with music all the time, because it can be hard sometimes when something goes from your passion to like your passion and your job. It can be hard to stay in love with it all the time. So I think that has been the past like 2 to 3 years for me, is being like, whatever I can do to foster staying in love with it is what I'm going to do.
But isn't that interesting too, that where your main focus has been to make sure you stay in love with music, and at the same time, this has been maybe even the most fruitful part of your career that doesn't seem like a coincidence. Like that seems
I think when I learned that I can let go, and that's actually helpful, it changed everything.
Yeah. Well, I did like a little bit of like a phone a friend thing when I knew that we were going to do this. And so I phoned a mutual friend of ours, Jack Antonoff.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to talk to Amy. And so tell me one of your favorite things about her. And he just said that she's so great as a songwriter because she doesn't come in with like rules. She doesn't believe that there's just these rules that you got to follow. And I think that that's, yeah. So I just wanted to say
I love that from Jack.
Yeah.
He's the same way.
Yeah.
I always say that. I'm like, he has this like childlike love, which I know because you and Jack have done so much together. I'm like, he's not tethered to anything. No. And I think my favorite songwriters and producers and artists are like that, where they just go in and they're like, they still love it to the extent where they're like, I'm just going to do my thing and have fun today. And like, fuck it. If it's terrible, I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah. And let's find it together in a room.
Yeah.
Like, let's find it. We don't know what it is, but let's figure it out.
I truly never know what it is.
I know, me neither.
If anybody knows what it is, too, I'm like...
Sus. Right?
Do you know what it is? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you really, though?
No.
Sometimes they do, and then I'm like, humbling. You did. You did. You knew.
When you know, you know.
When you know, you know.
Okay, so, wait, I have another question.
Are we supposed to ask people questions?
Wait, yes. I have another question from a cue card.
This cue card situation's crazy.
Wait for it. Hold on.
I love how you and I are acting like it's normal that we have 9,000 cards up here.
I want to do that thing. You know how people, like older people, they'll lick their finger to
the really hygienic turn of the page,
and just a long sort of dry tongue. Okay. Wait a second. Nope, not those. So, I mean, you have put out a beautiful record as a solo artist. How was that process and the feeling and all of that? Like, how was that different than writing with and for other people?
I think it's, for me, intentionally very different. I think when I did it, it was intentionally as different as I could have made it, because I did it from a place of like, I need to stay in love with music and I need to do something where I'm not walking in and being in a room of 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 people and figuring out like what somebody else needs. I need to just like go for like 6 months or however many months I was working on it and just like sit down and be like, what did I love about songwriting when I first started, and just do it alone. And that's what I did. And I got to like write these songs in my rooms and then bring them into producers that I am really close with, that I love. And I started every song like as a poem, which I never do with artists, because we always write the chorus first when we're writing, you know, of course. Like if you don't have a bulletproof chorus, like what do you have? So I just really made like a very intentional shift in how I wrote. And I started the way that I used to write, and it was really nice for me. And it came from like a headspace of being like, as cool as it will be when I'm like an old woman, to look back and if hopefully I have grandkids and be like, these are songs that I, you know, wrote and co-wrote throughout my whole career. It will be really cool, but I'm like, I also want to have something that was like, this was just me. Yeah. Like this one was like just my own shit that I was going through that hopefully still resonates then. So that's kind of where it came from. And it was really so good for my headspace to do it. And I'm very grateful that I did.
Did it feel more liberating to do, or more, you just, I mean, I guess you just answered the question. Like because I guess I'm superimposing my own experience writing, which is just like a lot of like, you know, but it sounds like it was just liberating. For the most part.
I think I was so pent up of not having done it for so long that when I allowed myself to be like, okay, I'm just going to do this now, it was just like floodgates opened. Oh. Also, I had just gone through a breakup, so I won't lie, that helped a little bit. The floodgates were kind of kicked open. But and then some of them were songs that I wrote like 4 years beforehand, where I was like, I never thought they'd see the light of day, but I always loved these. So it was kind of like a culmination of a bunch of things, but very grateful I did it. And it gave me a newfound respect for all the artists that I work with, because I'm like having to have the conviction of like, this is good enough to send to mix and to get mastered, and to, like, it's a lot.
Yeah, and like, this is me.
Yeah. It's hard because I hadn't done that since I was like in college, really, where I was like, this is my vulnerable self, and I'm just gonna like, this is only me. It's, you know, it's a different thing when you're writing with an artist and then they put it out and, you know, the world takes it away.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Happy I did it.
Happy you did too.
Thanks, girl. All right, should we open it up to the squads?
Yeah, to the squads.
Plural. Oh.
Okay.
Hi, cuties.
Hi. Wait, do you want me to pick the people, or do you want to do like a sort of a Russian roulette, or what are we?
You go.
You. Oh, wait, no, there's two. Oh, no.
Oh.
Wait. Okay, there's someone in the front row and someone in the third row. I was looking at the person in the third row.
I say we do both.
But we're going to do both. There's plenty of time. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. Clearly, you don't want me to be the person picking.
This is how collabing
sorry,
works.
Go on. Yes.
First of all, thank you so much for like doing this for us. It's like so cool to hear your experiences. As a producer and creative, one thing that I am very aware of is there's a huge gender divide in the production world. Like, I read on a Billboard article like a couple years back that it was like 4% of all like of the 4% of the producers credited on the top 100 were female. And how do we make this a better environment? Not to sound like a performative male or anything like that, but like how do we make this like a better environment for like women to feel comfortable, or like non-male identifying people to feel comfortable being as a production or technical role in the music industry?
I mean, you're sitting next to one of my favorite all-time, you know, female producers that I can say, and I'm just like, I'm in awe of everything that you do, production-wise and songwriting-wise. I mean, we can both answer his question, but do you want to take it away?
Sure. Okay, so, and I hope this isn't too long-winded, but we were recently at a camp.
A songwriting camp.
We went to songwriting camp.
We did. Sleep away.
And one thing because I've never been to anything like that, and it was really fascinating for a whole lot of reasons. But I noticed in the rooms the gender divide, because there would be like, especially if they were writing for a female artist.
There's also like 7 people in those rooms. Like there's like a lot of people.
A very fascinating hellscape.
Yeah.
Like it was a whole thing. We could write a dissertation on it. Like we still have to download about the whole thing. Anyway,
things to say.
But I did specifically notice there was a gender divide. Like there was like, okay, these people are songwriters and they're mostly women, and then these people are producers, and it's maybe they're a producer, or maybe it's someone who like knows how to run Ableton and make a beat and do Pro Tools, you know, because like, let's not, yeah, okay, you know. So, and then there were people, you know, who could play instruments, but I did notice like a sort of a gender divide that made me want to go like, I want to help women, female identifying people who are songwriters with something to say, know how to do more of the technical side, because that's there's also the financial incentive, which is that if you're a songwriter, you're not necessarily being paid for your time, whereas if you're a producer, you are like, right?
This is like a huge,
right?
We could do 5,000 hours on how songwriters, it's like, yeah. Your question's a good one, because we could talk about this for a long time.
Yeah.
But I mean, neither of us really answered it, but
No.
the answer is kind of that it's like a long road to opening the doors for it to seem, I think, accessible for a lot of women to have the confidence to be like, oh, I feel like I could do something that there's very little representation of it happening. And that goes across so many things that aren't just music related, where certain genders are just like not, you know, like, or races or everything, where you don't see it. So it feels like out of touch and out of reach. And I know that I personally know a lot of people that are phenomenal female producers. It's just still like the ratio is obviously still so crazy.
It's skewed, and I wish there was would like to remove some of the fear or intimidation that some women might feel approaching the technological side of it, because we figure it out. You know what I mean? Like it's all within their grasp if they're interested in doing that. Not everybody wants to do that, because it is not always the best thing to wear all the hats. But if you can empower yourself with that kind of technical knowledge, it will only serve you in kind of every that too, right? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, good question.
Okay, very good question.
Thank you. Oh wait, yeah.
Just kind of going like based off like the input output thing you were talking about. Do you have like any personal like unconventional songwriting processes or tips that are kind of like unique to you?
I mean, the car one is crazy. That's crazy. Any ones that are unique to me? I feel like I know the answer to this for you, but I sometimes force myself to listen to like very strange instrumental music, because then I allow myself to start writing melodies to it. I wish I could just be like, because I just zen out and don't think about it, but I'm like, I start writing melodies to it over things that are like not necessarily chords or, like sectioned in ways that pop songs would be.
That's such a good idea.
I do that sometimes.
And then
something really good to ask. I don't know if you're a songwriter, but I'll assume. Something that I love to ask people that I haven't heard a lot of other songwriters ask, that's kind of like my favorite thing to ask, is, this was really intuitive, so you're probably going to be like, you're an idiot for thinking this, but I thought this was pretty smart when I thought of it, which is like, if you were the artist that I'm writing with that day, I'd be like, what's your favorite karaoke song to sing? What is it?
That's good.
And then you're like, I know your range. I know what style I'm like, oh, I just Jedi'd the shit out of this. That's my own little, yep.
You could be a really good serial killer, I think.
Fine line.
Yeah.
All right, who else we got? You go, I don't like.
Oh, no. Okay, white shirt.
You're so much more than a white shirt to us.
Well, Amy, I can see you're itching to take the lead on this one. I'm going to let you. Please, my love. No, please, go for it.
I mean, I got a lot to say to that, many things, but I think at the beginning, when I was in college still, which I did finish Berkeley, which was probably wrong, step number one, but I stayed a little too long. Oh, good. Okay, so I was in this class, and it was Cara Diaguardi's songwriting class, which you had to like audition to get into, and I was failing every class, but I got into that one, and I was like, okay, at least this is like a pass fail. It's not like a number, so I could like maybe scoot through this a little bit easier. But I realized in that class that I still have a lot of friends that are in songwriting now that I took that class with them, and once in a while they'll like send songs that we did together in that class. Not nice. And it was so dark times. No, it sounds like a cute story, but I listened to them and I have this out of body identity crisis, because I was like, that whole semester I was writing songs because I thought that we were basically like trying to write songs for like pop artists, and I was like, I was just writing what I thought people wanted to hear and what I thought was on the radio at that time, and trying to make like my really bad version of it. And there wasn't one lyric that was like honest. There wasn't one melody that like did anything interesting. It was all just me trying to like replicate what's happening right now. And I honestly feel like I was stuck in that trap for a pretty long time. And I still feel myself sometimes. It's like a very easy thing to like go into like, oh, I just heard this thing that is popping off, and maybe I should, try to emulate in some way. And I think to me, when I realized that's the absolute opposite of what you should be doing as a songwriter, like if it's on the radio now, go the opposite direction, like run far in the other way, because that will be the next thing that like blows people's minds and creates your identity as a songwriter. And that took me longer than I care to admit to figure out.
But you figured it out, and that was probably like a really great practice. Like you put in the 10,000 hours or whatever, and I
totally no, and
it's good.
definitely it's character building. Yeah. Oh. There. Hi.
I'm such a big fan of the stuff you've done with Harry Styles. How did you go from writing pitch songs to get into like working with?
Well, I guess Harry and I, we've, as you know, I mean, we've had a sexual relationship for a very long time. So no, I'll let you take this one.
Annie's funny as hell. I like it. I want to know of that fan fiction novel for sure.
It's on my private Reddit. It's on my Discord.
Feeds on fire. I think I will chalk that one up to my very good friend Kid Harpoon, Tom, who I was working with him on, I think, my own stuff at the time.
I like him.
I like him a lot.
Yeah.
I like him a lot. I'll go as far as say I love him.
Yeah.
And because he brought me in on that day and he just trusted me, we hadn't done anything that had ever come out together. Because sometimes that happens. You like have like a rapport with a producer or writer and you're like, crazy, we've done 5,000 songs and no one's ever wanted one. But like him and I had done a lot and like nothing had been used, but he does everything with Harry and Tyler, and he was just like, hey, what do you think about coming in? Like we've the album's kind of done, but we're like looking for maybe like one more thing maybe. And I was like, I couldn't possibly. No, I was like, when and where? I'm there now. And I don't know. I loved that day, but that was the bridge. I feel like that taught me that there's like no collaborator that you shouldn't be always putting your best foot forward with, because Tom and I had never had anything. And I'm just like, the fact that he believed in me off of that is crazy. But great question. Thank you. Oh, we're in the red, Annie. We're in the red. Oh. Oh, you. Yes, you. Hi.
I'm a huge fan of both of you, so thank you for coming and giving us all the night to listen to. I am a USC music industry major, and we have studied your work. That sounded creepy, but like, we all just love you and adore you. And I wanted to ask, I think, two things. One, melody, lyrics, or chords first, like what's your order? And then second, as a songwriter myself, sometimes there are days where I don't really want to dive into like some of the emotional stuff I'm feeling, or I don't really want to break it down. But I know in order to be authentic, I have to. And do you have days like those where it's kind of like, I really just don't want to write today? And how do you get through that?
Okay. I'll try to, I know that we are over time, so I'm going to make this real quick. I love that question. That was a great two-pronged question. That was a 1-2 punch. I love it from you. I personally do melody, chords, and lyric kind of all at the same time. If I'm given the opportunity to like really write from scratch, I'm like, when I did my own album, like I was saying, I wrote all of them as poems. So that's like a rare occasion in which I would like do it lyric first. But I kind of like to just chug along in sections. I don't know how you like to. I actually have no. I feel like are you riff? I feel like a lot of your songs are riff driven, and I've actually wanted to ask you that. I'm like, is that the first thing?
I have no idea. I don't have any particular process except to say that there are days that you absolutely do not feel like writing. Write anyway.
Yeah, I think that's the best advice of like any songwriter, because we all have those days when you're like, so many songs I've written with artists that are like unbelievable, and we wrote like 7 hours of like complete bullshit. And then like hour 8, when everybody was like, I just want to go home, the spirit struck. Yep. Can't say why. Don't know. Maybe someone took a bathroom break, came back. But it just is like, there's so many days where you're like, this was going to be a bad day. I just am not feeling it today. And then you chug away at it, and then it just strikes. It's a little bit like playing a slot machine some days. One might say it's a little bit of an addictive thing, but I think always write through it. I would agree.
Well said.
Great question. Thank you, Grammy Museum, and thank you, Annie.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Amy.